Aaron, from your perspective, is this nature or nurture? Can somebody manipulate these aspects of themselves in their life? Can they grow and they learn in this specific aspect?
Um, I mean, the short answer is yes, right? It's like, what do you, and what are we really trying to get out of it? You know, and me being outside of the world of, competitive sport now for a while, what I was alluding to earlier, um, I'm very grateful for it, for the lessons that it teaches you as you move along through life. Like you're able to kind of reflect back on certain things and how like it still provides a bit of growth and to this point of like, I think with Jack bringing up so it's interesting to hear Jack express that, and so that's express what he's viewing as me, but I'd like to even add something else, because I think I'd like to provide this, what the gift, like a certain gift that was given to me, and to this aspect of like nature versus nurture. Like, I was physically gifted, like there's this, right? And I was very like naturally, I had a proclivity towards swimming, but in particular this one particular stroke, and I couldn't find it in any other stroke, and I can compare that to themselves. And so I was like, wow, I can just kind of do this somewhat naturally, and I was good at the other stuff, just not as good.
Yep.
And so you marry that with so that's like the luck. That's the nature. My parents were very athletic, and centered around the water. It was their lifestyle. My grandmother was a mermaid, like through and through, right? And just she's the one who kind of is this like in some regard was this it's in me. I spend time around her, and she's going, when are we going to the beach? I just want to put my feet in the sand. And I look at her, and one of the things she says to me, she goes, Aaron, don't ever marry a girl who won't get her head wet. And it's my grandmother. And it's kind of, it's something that really, it's an appreciation for this natural environment, which I was given as a very young kid. And it's like, it's deep in me. And so so that's like this other side, this nature part, and that's a bit of nurture. But the other side is being given this platform and the right kind of environment to be able to nurture that. And I was, and what that was for me was, and I think if I can like relate something just as my career, because I don't want this podcast not about my career, but it's like in this sense, something that I feel like I'd be remiss without saying. I was given the gift of this process, and so like whatever meets and races and medals and records or whatever were going to happen, they were auxiliary to this larger scope of the entire thing. And like this, and what I was trying to carve out, I had this long vision ever since I was a kid, and I was allowed to grow that under the circumstances that I was in. I was engaged in the day-to-day process to the point where, and I believed in it. I had a certain faith in it. I was, I happened to grow up around a coach, Dave Salo, that I had a tremendous amount of trust in, and he earned that. He would sit me down and explain to me things of what I was doing and why. And if I didn't get it, I would tell him, and we had a discourse, and it was an honest discourse. I was an equal part in this relationship. He pushed me, but I learned that I was capable of engaging in this process and holding myself accountable. And what I found valuable was not, I think the results were affirmations of like what I was doing was working, and how I was proceeding and progressing and doing this was working. and so that creates this feedback loop to where you go back and you're excited. This is working. I'm growing. I'm learning, and you're perpetually in this state of being immersed in what you're doing. It's a beautiful gift. It's like what you want every kid to find, and because of that, I was able to feel fully immersed in this environment and feel really comfortable in it. I was given this gift of feeling like I belonged in it.